Buenos dias, everyone. Today I'm going to take you through some footwear that I wore in England during my 6 days hiking in the Lake District. You know what's almost more annoying than an American trying to navigate a traffic circle? Wet shoes when you're hiking. That's where these Keen NXIS Evos came in really handy. It is a shoe as opposed to a boot, so it is a little bit lighter. It is finished with a water repellent that they put on there. However, I went ahead and sprayed some on myself, and I felt like it really held up to the water. I went through some streams and some creeks and a lot of rain. It rained for pretty much every day while I was there. Again, the rain in England though, you can do things in it because it's light. The rain in the United States, you got to worry about getting washed away. So definitely it came in handy, but was still able to do all the hiking that I wanted to do. So that was great. These things are, again, light. They come in at about 1 pound 9 ounces, and you may think that's kind of heavy, but for a waterproof hiking shoe, it's pretty light. Beats a lot of the competitors. One of the best things that I like about these shoes, and what I try to find in most of my shoes, is a wide toe box, because there's nothing worse than having your scrunchy toes in there, especially when you're wearing hiking socks, which are generally thicker. You get really constricted at the toes, and if you're cutting off some blood supply to your toes, it can start to hurt or swell. And you have to, again, swelling, you have to take into account that as you're walking, your feet are going to swell a little bit, so having the extra room in here really helps. Another thing I liked about this is that if you're going over rocky terrain, the toe cap here, you're not stubbing your toe. It's going to protect your toes really well. Obviously, also the sole of this is dual, I don't know how to say it. It has dual directional little studs on here, so as you're going downhill, the heel, they're turned so the C is facing down to catch you going down, and as you're going up, the C is turned the other way to grab things as you're going up. So that is a really cool feature of the Keen. So I had a lot of stability on the trail, a lot of traction over many different surfaces. And one of the great things about England when you're hiking in the Lake District is that the terrain changes all the time. You go from wet fields to wet rock to dry rock to mud trails to dirt trails to creek beds, all sorts of things. So it's nice to have a sole that can adapt to all those different terrains. These do have an anti-odor treatment, so you can smell. Just kidding. So you can smell them, and they smell great still. Delicious. And I have these on most of the time. They don't smell at all, so that's great. The soles of this are removable, so if you have some orthotics insoles that you want to put in there, you can. However, I feel like the insoles of shoes are meant to go in there, so I typically try to find some that I find that are comfortable for my feet and just leave the ones that are in there. I do understand that people have feet issues, and that's probably something that they cannot do. However, anytime I try to replace the insoles to shoes, they just don't ever feel the same. So I try to keep mine in there, the original ones in there, and go with what they put in these shoes, because that's what it was designed for. I will say I do need a little bit of arch support, and these do say it has arch support in here, but I felt like it was still a little bit lacking. So if you need arch, some major arch support, these may not be the shoe for you, or you could try putting your orthotics. Orthotics, is that the right word? Orthotic insoles? I don't know. But anyways, you know what I mean. So these are, again, the Keen NXIS Evos, and they worked out really well for me on my trip. And just so you know, it does have this sweet exclamation point on the toe, so you can tell everyone in your way that you were coming through and you better back up. Alright, switching gears now. When it wasn't raining, which it wasn't very often, I had the Altra Lone Peak 6s. Now, if you don't know Altra, you gotta get in the game. I will say, first off, these are not the most attractive shoes in the world. In fact, I almost didn't buy them because I thought they were the ugliest shoes I've ever seen. However, once I put them on, I felt how light they were, and they have this amazing toe box that fits your feet so well. I was like, I gotta buy these. So I've had I've had 3 pairs of these. I've had the Lone Peak 3s, I've had the Temp 3s, and now I got the Lone Peak 6s. Honestly, the Lone Peak 3s have been my favorite one so far. However, these are rapidly growing on me after wearing them out in the Lake District. So the Altras, they are super light. They weigh about 10 ounces. And they are typically a trail running shoe, so maybe not a hiking shoe. However, I used it for hiking and it was just fine. I usually use these as approach shoes going to when I'm rock climbing. That trip from the car to the crag where we do the rock climbing, it's called an approach, and this is what I usually use for those. They do sell actual approach shoes, however, I feel like these work just fine. Also, I do some trail running sometimes, and it's nice to have a shoe that can pretty much do everything. So there is a rock plate in here, so if you step on a rock mid-foot, you know how that could hurt, right there on the pad of your foot. It's not going to hurt. It really does take the pressure off of those rocks. And also, at the bottom, you feel like a bear, because you feel like you're wearing a bear claw, because there is a bear claw on the bottom of your shoe. So anyways, these are the Altra Lone Peak 6s, and highly recommend these for sure. Any kind of Altras that I've had have been absolutely amazing. The Temps are also a trail running shoe. They have a little bit more cushion in there. I don't like them as much because I feel like they're a little bit less stable. These are a little lower, so when I'm on the trail, I feel when I'm running or hiking, I get a lot more feel from these, and I don't feel so tippy. The Temps are great and for cushion and everything, but they're just a little higher than the Lone Peak 6s. So if you need something that has a little bit more stability, that Lone Peak 6s are what you need to do. Okay, so hopefully you enjoyed this video. I will be back with an exciting video about England gates. See ya! Well, I realized after I completed this video that I forgot to tell you how much they were and where to get them, because that is important. The Keens, NXIS Evos, the waterproof shoes, they run anywhere from $140 to $170 depending on where you go. I went to a place called Vital Outdoors in Golden, Colorado, and I picked them up on a Father's Day sale, which was really awesome. So they were originally about $170, got them for about $150, which I thought was really good for a high quality shoe like this. I picked these up at an REI, huge REI guy, weird, right? And they were about, I think I got them on sale for about $100. So, and these right now are $100 pretty much on any website because the Lone Peak 7s are out. So, which means you're going to pick up a really good shoe for a lot less. I know you can get these on Amazon for about $140. However, I try not to shop Amazon, well, just because, you know why you shouldn't be shopping Amazon. I'm not going to get into that right now, but I do want to say, try to support your local outdoor shop as much as possible. I work in education. I'm poor, so sometimes I can't do it, but for the most part, I try to, which is why I bought these at Vital. I was happy to pay them the money for those shoes in order to support them. There is another shop in Golden, Colorado that I really like called Bent Gate. I bought some of those dehydrated meals from them that were fantastic. Great group of people in there as well as Vital Outdoors. They're all very friendly, awesome place to shop. So if you're in the Golden, Colorado area, shop those two shops and help support those smaller local shops when you can. But again, I shop at REI. Obviously, it's a big company. They have an awesome return policy, which is why I shop there. But I try not to shop on Amazon as much as I can. But sometimes you have to do what you gotta do when you don't have any money. Okay, bye.